Hi everybody, my name is Courtney. I am a co-founder of Dandelion Branding and welcome to our channel. This video is going to be all about Canva and Picmonkey. These are two of the leading browser-based photo editing programs. At Dandelion, we make a lot of content. We are a digital marketing agency that works with sustainable businesses, and we not only make content for ourselves, we also make content for some of our ongoing clients. And so we are using these tools all the time. This is really meant for folks who are maybe small business owners or someone who is interested in starting their own small business. Both of these tools are awesome for folks who have an eye for design, but maybe don't have all of the technical skills needed to feel confident working with Photoshop and a blank canvas every single time. So I'm going to jump into the back end of both and show you around, and we can talk a little bit about their differences, some of the pros and cons, so that I can arm you with the information so that you can make a choice on which one would work best for your needs and for your small business. So let's check it out. All right. So I'm going to jump into Picmonkey. Here we are. This is one of our folders. Picmonkey is something that we have used since the very beginning of Dandelion Branding. And so we have a history with this program. But I kind of want to just dive right into the actual use of this program and show you around creating content here. So when you want to create something new, there is these options here. You can start blank canvas, template, and I usually don't do that. I usually just make a copy of something. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to edit a copy. That was just a right click. Here's an example. This is something that we posted on our Instagram a bit ago. And it is, utilizing some of the stock imagery that's within Picmonkey, a little bit of text, some images that we have in our brand kit, and then this is utilizing some of the textures that they offer. So this image kind of incorporates a lot of what you can do with Picmonkey. I will say that in general, Picmonkey has more tools for touching up images than, certainly more than Canva offers. You'll see that there's a little bit of airbrush, skin smoother for editing photos. Canva at this time doesn't offer things like that, which is interesting. I will say that one of the pros is this incredible stock imagery. Again, this is the pro version. I'm going to click on photos and video, and these are stock images that you can search. And so that's really cool. So you can click on these three to set this as the background of the overall image, or you can just click on it once and it will open up just so you can play around with it. One thing I will say is that it's something that I think that they're trying to do, but they're not quite great at right now. You can't really drag and drop these super well over top of the image that's here. Yeah, you have to be like perfectly placed to find out there's one spot, it seems like right up in the top center, where you can kind of hover this image that you've dragged over here from these options, and it can like take the space of the image that's there without changing the shape. Otherwise, if you were to just add this here, it would be a different shape, right? It would be quite a bit different, and you'd have to kind of mess with the sizing. That is pretty easy to do. You can just double click and you're able to crop and adjust the shape. We utilize templates a lot, our own templates that we've designed, plus some of the templates that are built into these systems. And so I really like being able to just drag and drop an image into the space without it changing the shape, because I want to essentially play with this exact same layout over and over. Some of the other pros about Picmonkey are the ability to erase and you can soften it quite a bit. And so you can kind of airbrush and blend things in this way, which definitely has come in handy. Within Picmonkey, you can also, any element you can add effects to, you can add drop shadow, inner shadow, and outline. I think that's all very, very cool. You can make some really nice graphic stuff. Of course, it will look a little crazy now because I just airbrushed the side off of that, but you get the idea. This is just, it's going to create an outline around your element. You can really easily change the font. There are quite a few fonts in here. You can also easily add in custom fonts, which I appreciate. One of the shortcomings of Picmonkey is that it is a little bit slow when you're trying to type. If you type quickly, it might miss some of your keystrokes. Let's just say, yeah, I'm typing right now. If you type quickly, it might miss keystrokes. Yeah. So as you can see, it missed quite a bit of that. You know, a lot of the time I write things elsewhere and then copy them into Picmonkey. But if you are ever, wanting to just type things directly in here, that can be a bit frustrating. Especially if you were wanting to create some sort of like proposal or presentation or something that has a lot of copy on it. This, it's a little bit slow for that. So you may want to write it elsewhere and just copy and paste. You can change colors of elements really, really easily. And I actually like in a few of the options that Picmonkey has here when dealing with colors, particularly these ones right here. So I very much appreciate the fact that it allows for you to copy and paste hex codes just directly here in any element, right? So this is text. You can just paste that, whatever hex code it is that you want this text to be. It also shows you recently used options, which are great too if you're consistently making content or images for, a brand and you have a set number of hex codes that you use. But yeah, I just really appreciate this function. This is not something that Canva offers really, but I find that a bit frustrating when I'm using Canva. So that's something that Picmonkey has that I appreciate. It also has this tool, this color chooser. So you can hover over anything, any element, any image, anything, and it will show the hex code of that particular area. So if you're ever wanting to kind of blend things or use, colors from an image, I really like that tool. That is not something that Canva offers. I think it can be very, very handy though when wanting to kind of create a cohesive image, or especially if you're blending things together. I use that tool fairly often. So I do think that it is handy. There are a lot of graphics that you can choose from, but they're all kind of within these categories. And the search function is nice because otherwise it's a little bit crazy. There's a lot of different graphics here, and they're constantly putting out new graphics. It's not quite as frequent as Canva with their graphics, but they still are a lot of like staples. Another thing is the ability to see actually the exact dimensions of a particular element. This is something that I use often also when working with templates and wanting to make sure that the sizing of a logo is consistent on different posts. I clicked resize here so I could see the exact dimensions. You can change those dimensions here and it will resize it automatically for you. As of right now, I don't see a way that Canva shows you the dimensions of a particular element. So it makes it a little bit challenging sometimes to ensure that like two documents have the same size logo or icon, whatever it may be. I think for consistency, I really appreciate that it shows that exact pixel dimensions. Yeah, I think that those are really the main pros that I really appreciate about Picmonkey. And again, I think that the cons are that it's not so great when you are typing text directly into it. And it's not that great when you are wanting to just click and drag an image and make that the background of a particular element. That is not really the strength of Picmonkey, but it is a really handy feature that is within Canva. So if you are, wanting to actually make some edits to images and, brighten up a photo, Picmonkey is really awesome for that. Or if you're just quickly reusing the same template, Picmonkey is really a simple tool to use. Yeah, it's not a bad one, definitely. It has a lot of pros, and I really, really enjoyed using it. All right, so now we are in Canva. So this tool is one that I've gotten into more and more recently. And I think that, over the past year, they've expanded exponentially in terms of what they offer and the functionality of using this software. So it's really cool how much they've grown. And I really, I think that they are becoming such an incredible hub and resource for small business owners. And that's really why I've been gravitating more to this particular program recently. And so I want to just kind of, again, start out looking at a particular example image. Honestly, they're the biggest pro I can say for Canva is the incredible amount of templates that they offer for honestly kind of any use. They have templates that are really so cute and really well designed, and it's fun to use, and it's really good inspiration. It's so much easier to use than just kind of starting with a blank template, especially if you are not a trained graphic designer. Unlike Picmonkey, Canva has it's super easy to add photos over top of other photos, and it just immediately takes that shape. You can also just hover images over really any element, and it will make that image the background of that element. I think that is really, really, really useful. This is their stock photos, and I'm going to just kind of click and drag and bring this on over, and it immediately populates into this square. It could also populate as the background if you hover over. Super cool. It makes designing and playing around with stuff really, really simple. And I appreciate that. There's also, again, a ton of elements. I really, really like their frames that they have. These featured ones are always so fun. They're like on trend. I'm going to show you a bit about the frames, which I think is so much fun. These are essentially just like a dedicated image area, and this kind of cloud area is what you cover with an image. So these are essentially just frames for photos that you can either, upload or stock photos from their bank. I want to add one. I'll just show you really quickly. So I'm just kind of throwing that in there. And then I'll go photos and just kind of put that in there. And then you can double click and you can kind of shift around what part of the image you want highlighted. It's just so quick and easy when you're typing within Canva. It is really quick. It is incredibly responsive. So I'm just gonna type that. When you type in Canva It is responsive. Not a single missing keystroke. That is not the experience that we had with Picmonkey. So that is really cool. I really appreciate that when, we're building out different documents. We really use this for presentations, for proposals, for sales documents, marketing pitches, things like that need a mixture of visuals like photos or graphics and copy. I think that this is definitely what is most beneficial. If you're creating that type of document, then Canva is going to be the option for you. I also really like that when you look at the colors, you can see document colors. So that's kind of similar to in Picmonkey, kind of the recently used colors. But also you can see some of the colors that are within the photo. It's not all of them, but it's kind of an overall theme, which I really like. I think when you're trying to design things that are nicely cohesive, but still offer a little bit of visual distinction, and you don't want to use like the exact same hex code all the time, this tool is really nice for finding kind of complementary colors. Another thing that I have recently found about Canva is that you can go to styles and you can change the overall color palette of the entire document that you're working on. So like this one's very brown and green. Let's go with like something crazy. Let's see what it changes. Whoa, okay. And then you can just kind of continue to click them and it'll change the entire color palette of that image. I think that's so cool. I think it's so handy. If you can obviously utilize like your own color palettes, which I think is awesome. And then you can kind of shuffle and it'll like redesign it for you. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I need that tool. That's so great. So handy. And they recently came out with the ability to, within effects here, to remove the background of images, which is really cool if you're making social media graphics and you want to kind of, layer different elements or have something just without a background. That's something that we use a lot. Yeah, it is. It's really kind of just so handy to use. You can really easily share your documents that you made with other people. You can present straight from Canva. That's something that I've been doing a lot recently. And of course you can, download them directly as PNGs, JPEGs, all of that stuff. The templates are really just above and beyond. It is so helpful when, you're a busy business owner and you need to be creating social media graphics on a frequent basis. You can really make some really incredible stuff. So that is a bit about Canva. All right. So my overview is that really they are pretty comparable, but they have some very, very unique differences. And honestly, these two platforms are direct competitors. So they're constantly coming out with new tools that kind of match what the other one has. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a lot of new features by the time you might be watching this video. Right now it is March 2021, so we will see what else they come out with. But as of right now, if you are a small business owner and you're really working on building infographics, graphics for social media, presentations, proposals, things like that, and you want to use some really nice templates that can get your creative juices flowing, I think Canva is the program for you. On the other hand, if you are working more with actual photos that you've taken and you want to do, some photo editing and have some of those photo editing tools that are a la Photoshop with not the Photoshop price, then Picmonkey is honestly a fantastic option. They both have some really great features and they both do have some limitations. So I hope that this video was helpful Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Here we put out a podcast called EnvionMental, where we deep dive into different aspects of sustainability. I also make videos that are all about different programs and platforms and things that are helpful for folks who are starting and running a small business. So if that's you, then please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.